Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out some new custom-made Spider-Man action figures, as well as a couple old ones I thought I'd toss in for fun. Here we have Shadow Spider-Man. As you can see, this was an old Marvel Legends head that I custom fabricated to look the way it is now. And then I just took the body and I painted it completely flat black and gave him a little buck knife there to add for the intimidation factor. Now, all these custom Spider-Man action figures are going to be sized referenced by Storm Collectibles Jin from the brand Storm Collectibles, which I enjoy very much. And then next up, we're going to try McFarlane Toys Batman from the Arkham Asylum run. He is about 7 inches tall, so that gives you a bit of a reference. And next up, we have the Predator from NECA Toys, who's about 9 inches tall. So that kind of just gives you a reference to how tall these figures are we're looking at. So now that we've looked at Shadow Batman, let's take a look at my other favorites. I believe I've shown him in a video before, but I thought it wouldn't hurt to take a look at him again. I just love this figure, I love the black and white, I love the touch of red for the eyes, and I love the ninja swords. He's a dual-wielding ninja swords, and another thing I like is those black teeth. I think a monster with black teeth, I don't know, just something about it, I really enjoy it. But this is one of my all-time Spider-Man, Venom, symbiote type action figures. He's more of an anti-hero and less of a villain or less of a hero. He's the guy who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Alright, next up we're going to take a look at another one of my favorites. And this is just an old Marvel Legends I had, one of the old school ones that came out around 2015. And this guy just looks awesome. The way I was able to pull off the shading with the blue, the way that gloss red pops. Most of these figures you'll see I use flat colors, but this one I went all gloss. I went with a gloss blue, a gloss red. You can see he's got the hooks on the one hand, and then he's got the wall crawling hand for the other hand. There's a look at his back. Alright, next up, let's take a look at this red one. This one I used flat colors. I used a flat red. I did about 6 shades of flat red for this Spider-Man, as well as doing a black and blue mixture for the spider logo, as you can see. The head was 3D printed. Most of the heads that you don't recognize will be 3D printed. You see that I also gave him a sword there, which I also enjoy, and a pointer finger to point out who my fans are. And that's you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do that. And if you want to do me a favor and just tell me your favorite Spider-Man in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, there was a side profile, and taking a look at the back, you can see I gave him a black wash. But ultimately, this figure is just something you wouldn't want to meet in a dark back alley, you know what I'm saying? As you can see, he also has the gauntlets that I gave him there as well. Next up, we're going to look at the exact same figure, but this time I went with blue and red. You see, I also gave him a black wash, but I did use about 6 shades of blue to get this outcome. This kind of shading doesn't just happen when you slap paint onto a figure. You gotta do somewhat of an ombre effect. There's a look at the side, there's a look at the back. I love the spider logo and how well it pops off the chest. I think this one actually turned out really well. I'm pretty critical when it comes to how well I draw the spiders. That one I actually enjoyed. Alright, next one is an older one I showed, but I gotta bring him back because he's afraid. This is my symbiote Spider-Man. I just love how this figure turned out. I love how I gave him the blue wash, or also this shell shading. It's kind of like a combination of the both. You can see I put a little bit of blue around the eyes and around the crest of the head, just to give that blue light reflection. Another thing I enjoy about this figure is I gave him a McFarlane Toys peg hand. That way he has a lot more articulation with his peg hand. As you'll see here, it actually gives him more of a wrist, and that acts more like a human wrist actually would, and so you can get more creative with that claw hand, and just make him look more sinister. The actual hand came from King Robin from McFarlane Toys. Next up, we're going to take a look at OG Spider-Man. This is from the Renew My Vows 2-pack, but what's different about him is the head. I 3D printed and painted this head to look more like the classic McFarlane Toys head. Now this head just gives it that more complete look. It has the darker ring around the eyes pop more, and it looks a little messy, in my opinion, like it should. You can see how I made the peg hole. I put some glue gun glue in there to make sure that the peg hole, everything fits tight and it's not loose. There's some resistance when you try to twist it or turn it. Alright, now we're gonna take a look at a different figure. And the figure coming up is another one that I'd previously shown, but I just wanted to show it to you before I showed you the yellow figure. This is my electric blue Spider-Man. As you can see, I gave him some blue gauntlets. I also did some shading with the spider logo, as well as the spider eyes. He used to be a saber figure. I took the legs from a Toy Biz Colossus, and I don't know what it is about this guy. He's massive. He just kind of jumps out the video, and I really enjoy having this action figure in my collection. Also, I had this little hammer that I 3D printed for him. I used the clear blue TPU materials, but I just really think he looks like a scary figure with this axe. The next figure we're going to take a look at is very similar to that electric blue Spider-Man, and I call this my Bumblebee Spider-Man. I love the black and blue on this figure. When I did the eyes, I was going to do them solid yellow, but I realized that yellow outline looked a lot creepier. The symbol, I feel like, went well. Sometimes it's really hard to get that spider logo on the chest just right and even. He has the claws from Sabretooth, and then the boots from a previous Marvel Legends figure. I don't remember which one. It was a robotic figure, but I thought he looked more jacked with those boots on. He's got the bigger muscles because it's the larger buck. And then those claws just look like they could rip through anything. And overall, I just think this guy looks awesome. Now, next what we're going to see is my ultimate favorite custom that I've recently done. This guy is just gnarly looking. It is a Venom skull. It's like if someone killed Venom and took out his skull. I went ahead and printed that, and then I gave him some deer horns just to kind of give him a Wendigo effect. And I took this old Conan body, this was Roar, the enemy of Conan, and I took the head off. I did a bunch of paint touch-ups, as you can see, and then I slapped that head on, and he is just scary looking. This is definitely a massive figure. There's the 7-inch McFarlane. You can see he towers over him. Let's go ahead and pull another one out. Let's pull out, let's see here. How about Jen? Or, yeah, not Jen, but you know who I'm talking to. Ryu. He still towers over Ryu. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at one that actually is bigger. NECA Predator. Now, NECA Predator is about 9 inches tall, so that kind of gives you a reference to how big this Venom figure is. So, I appreciate you guys watching. Take care. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Peace out.